So just to make things a little bit easier, because you're going to do a better job selling yourselves than I will, we'll start with Maud, but if you could introduce yourself and let us know what it is that you do.
So, I'm Maud Amson. I'm working for the Marché du Film of the Festival de Cannes, which is the biggest market in the world, the biggest rendezvous for the industry, so it has its specificities due to this. And there I'm in charge of the commercial aspects of the events, which means I'm in contact with sales agents, with institutions from all over the world to organize their presence in Cannes. And as a market, my job in the market, I'm in direct contact with filmmakers, but what we do is to offer services, infrastructures, opportunities for industry professionals to gather, network, and at the end, of course, the aim is that the movies are made.
Thank you. My name is Alessandro Raja. I'm co-founder of FestivalScope and FestivalScope Pro. So maybe I start from FestivalScope Pro because I think it's the most interesting for you. It's a platform that has been created in 2010, and we work with a network of about 120 festivals. We also work with co-production markets, and the idea is to show films just after the world premiere to professionals around the world. And when I say professionals, is first of all festival programmers, which are the most active users. And then we're also open to distributors, sales agents, producers, film critics, exhibitors, TV buyers. And the idea is really to help the films to be noticed by the professionals and to find new opportunities. So we create visibility and we create an easy access to the films. So the idea is really to create an ecosystem that is beneficial to people who sell the films or produce the films, and also for the viewers and the programmers. And FestivalScope is a sister platform that we created in 2016. And again, we work with festivals, but it's a platform open to the general audience. And the idea is to create events and where films are available for a limited time and for a limited number of people. So in a way, it's a bit like online festivals around the world. Aside of that, I'm also festival programmer for the Sarajevo Film Festival for the past 12 years.
Hello, my name is Pipelu Bjørnsen and I'm from Greenland. I'm the co-founder of Nuuk International Film Festival, which is the capital in Greenland. We have founded the festival in 2017 and really work with Arctic contents and have really good collaborators with Nunavut Film Development, which is Canadian Arctic Inuit. And first of all, I'm a filmmaker, and I wanted to make a festival because we wanted to give the opportunity for our filmmakers to be showcased as well, because we know it's hard to get into these established festivals. So we just really did it because we wanted people in our industry to know, okay, how is it to come into a festival, and from there, how can you distribute your film? And if we could be the ones who help them have a showcase at one festival, it really opened the door. And so I am the executive producer at the moment at the festival, and we have a program, we have a festival director, but it's always like new strategy for every year, because even though we are 8 years in, we're still trying to find how can we run it really. There's challenges, but we have a lot of support from especially the Canadian side and French as well. So but I will come into that.
My name is Frederic Boyer. I'm the director of programming of RIFF since 4 years. I am also the artistic director of the Tribeca Film Festival since 13 years, but mostly dedicated to international film and first film, so we're going to talk about it. And also the artistic director of Les Arcs Film Festival. Les Arcs is a ski resort in Alps dedicated to the European industry, first-time filmmakers, lab, project, work in progress, and also a regular or good festival with a selection.
And I'm Jason Gorber. I'm a film critic here from Canada, completely overwhelmed by the talent on the stage. But that's okay, I just get to ask the questions. First of all, I do want to give a shout out to those in the talent lab that are here. So first of all, congratulations, it's a big deal. And second of all, yes, thank you so much for being the future of cinema. So we're sort of here to discuss. I mean, the title is here, right? As I said, lights, camera, sound camera, depending which title you want. Distribution, festival strategy and distribution for first-time filmmakers. So I'm a film critic, and I go to festivals all over the world, and I always say, as soon as I've seen the film, I've already won. Like, I've seen the movie. So what happens after it? I have producers come up to me and say, what do you think is going to happen? I don't know. Is it going to do well at the box office? I don't know. I go to these things to see the movies, and I have the privilege of not necessarily needing to know where the film goes afterwards. You guys are in a position very much of helping shape the conversations about where these films go. So if you could talk just on a very basic level about what you see, given today's challenges within the economy, for a first-time filmmaker, besides the festival route, what do you see as the sort of best way forward?
So do we talk mostly about when the film is done, or do you think it's also useful to talk a little bit before?
We'll start with that. When does one start thinking of distribution?
Yeah.
Do you think of it before the film even starts, or do you think about it after you've had your project, maybe even after you've gotten into a festival? Is that now too late for you to be worrying about those questions?
I just want to say first that to talk a little bit, because we thought it was useful, the different initiatives that there are in the market as Cannes. You have a lot of different aspects. You have the festival, which of course you all know. You have different focuses organized by the festival initiatives in order to help filmmakers to complete their project, to present them, to help them to network, and for this you have a specific focus which is developing specifically nowadays. It has been existing since several years, and now it's been reshaping in a very strong identity, which is called Cinéma de Demain, so Cinema of Tomorrow. And the fact is that it's a new brand, which means that it's very specific and very up to date caring that the festival has on helping young filmmakers to make their way. So it takes the shape of different initiatives, whether you are a short filmmakers and you can try to work, to participate to the short film corner, rendezvous industry, where you can present your project and get initiative to help you to also work on a potential first feature. You have the residence, which welcomes filmmakers to help them to write on their project for 6 months in Paris. And after you have the market side, which on its own also welcome a lot of projects for people, one-to-one meetings, etc., through different programs. And these programs are brought to us by partners institutions. So this is one thing which is really aimed at filmmakers. And on the other side, a festival like Cannes, and even if it's not your question, I'm sorry, I just wanted to highlight it because it can be useful. Cannes is also, it is the strongest because aside to all these program initiatives, option, meetings, networking, blah, 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 you have a very strong sales and buying activity. It's a festival. The market welcomes more than 1,600 buyers. You have more than 1,200 market screenings, and for young filmmakers, it's important to know this part, sales and buy, because it's maybe something that as a young filmmaker you can be less familiar with, and the strategy, the sales agent's role with your producer and with the festivals after, and is very crucial. But the sales and buying place is not directly aimed at filmmakers, because it's a place where sales agents sell your movie if you have the chance to have make it and to have found the sales agents, and then they will come to Cannes and a few other markets during the year to sell your movie a little bit as a product. I just want to say this because I know that sometimes this part, but which is very crucial in the economy, so it's something, it is aimed, it is shaped this way. It's not the artistic part of it, it can be a little bit violent for filmmakers when they come in the market, when people have posters everywhere and they think that the poster of their own film is a little bit too small, or it's like this. But it's so sales agents, they come with a lineup and they sell everything, and among this can be your movie, but they have their own logic of doing it at one time, a precise time, within the festival agenda. It makes sense to do it this way, and I just wanted to say this, to say that there are these two aspects: co-production market to help the project, and also the sales and buying activity, which is a little bit less focused on filmmakers, but it's the way it goes for your movie after, and you have to let it go.
So I'm gonna strap this way back because there's a lot of great information there, but let's start right at the very beginning. This is what I'm trying to get at. You guys run festivals. For so many years, the goal was you can get your film to a festival. The person goes to the festival, sees the film, buys the film goes in theaters, people see it in the theaters, has many years of life. FestivalScope was a pioneering streaming service before we even sort of generally knew the term, but was a way that the world's festivals could be seen from the comfort of one's own homes, which for industry professionals has been a boon, but for some people has taken away some of the incentive to go to these certain festivals. Distribution, instead of just being theatrical, now has a wide stream of places to go, but as you talked about, there's 1,200 films at the market. The market for me is a horror show of movies that are going to get into Cannes and then disappear entirely, might get picked up for some market and never be seen. So let's cut right down to it. What are we looking for in 2023 in terms of distribution? Is it beyond getting into the festivals that you guys are programming it? Is it thinking of the TV run? Or is it simply, as filmmakers, they're trying to make something, but at what stage do you need to be thinking, where's the life of my film going to be? So let's start with the festival people and go to FestivalScope and go on.
Yeah, I think it's two things, because we started this because we are a little community of active filmmakers. Like, if we really look into, we only 182,000 peoples of Inuit in the world, and we are like in a circle of, like, if you look from the up, like we are superior.
We're at the top of the world.
We're the top of the world, exactly. But we are so a little industry still, but a lot of attention, and people really want to see films from Greenland and want to explore, have making films in Greenland for many years, often from outsiders. When we did this festival, it was really to, how can we already do workshops, finding creative young people that do a workshop during the film festival, because already there, maybe there is something. We work really closely with Sami Film Institute. The Sami people have many workshops that we can attend to, so we already know what will come. If they had, this year they had this horror, Arctic horror, it called, so we programmed that, where there actually was 2 Greenlandic filmmakers in the short film. So from that, we could have this program going all around the world, and we did it in 2014 as well with another project where we forces our indigenous peoples working together and showcasing it in Greenland at our festival, or Skapnugovat, which is in Inari, and then Imaginative, which was really our friends that was the, like, okay, we need to do this for our people. When we went to Imaginative.
I just have to give a shout out. Imaginative is an amazing film festival that takes place in Toronto, where I'm from. About a month after TIFF, and has been a world leader in fostering Indigenous voices throughout the planet and finding ways. I mean, and again, I'm sort of navigating because we're talking specifically here about distribution. It's weird for, this is what I'm trying to get. It's weird for a film critic to be worried about distribution, because it really doesn't matter to me, because I've seen the film. But it matters to filmmakers, it matters to people here. So after the festival, what are you finding for the film? They've succeeded, they've won, they got a position in your festival. It's the then what question. What's happening to those films after?
It often goes to other festivals. Again, like we are in September, Imaginative are in October, and often if they go into Imaginative, they can go to the cells, they can go to the buyers, to the micro meetings. We have the contacts of all these people, and some of them will come to our festival and try to see, like Netflix wanted to come one year, but then pandemic came, but we know they are looking for these new filmmakers and new films. So often we have short films that have really gone a long way, mostly festivals, but the distributions to have sales agent is still something we are working on and want to have, but again, we are so good friends with Imaginative that we say, okay, please go here because people are coming and want to buy, but I think we have, like, there was a short film that has been around the world because it opened in Greenland, and suddenly he has like 100 festivals around the world, and so many people have seen it.
So this is, I'm getting it, and I want to get to Tribeca because it's also an interesting example. But the whole notion of distribution, when I on the outside think distribution, I think of a post-festival distribution. But we, I think, to your point, have to think of getting on the festival circuit as also part of the general distribution question. And to your point, that should start right at the beginning of the film project, not the I've made a film, what the hell am I going to do with it? Is this fair? That's what words in everyone's mouth, but this is where we're going. Which then brings us to a market like New York. There's a line in Spinal Tap where they say the New York gig has been canceled, but that's okay, we don't want to overwhelm the market. Like as if somehow playing in New York and you have too many people seeing it is going to be a bad thing. You are trying to have whatever film in these dozens and dozens of projects playing your festival somehow get through this giant media landscape. How does that work at a place like Tribeca? And how does it work for the film's future afterwards? Are they simply looking for that Netflix deal? Or is there different ways that you see for films that are actually playing your festival?
Yes, Jason, I just want to go back to what you said before. You were asking many questions about distribution. So first I'm saying the most important is to make a good film. And then we're going to see what's happened.
That's the easy part, isn't it?
You know, it's very difficult to make a good film. And a few words about Tribeca. Anyone who is selected in Tribeca is really extraordinary. I met the director of Marinette yesterday, Virginie Verrier. It's a film which she's playing here. And she told me it was the world premiere of her film. It's a second film. And she found an agent. I don't want to say which agent, following, you have all agents following your career, even the DOP, the film editor. So it's really important to be on the American market. But I just want to break the ice a little bit because the subject today is also about the first-time filmmaker. And I want to add, Alessandro is also programming a section in Sarajevo, which are first and second film every year in August. So he's also a programmer and a good one. So we are more or less programmers, and Maud not yet, but she will. But I just want to say the most important, you don't know what to do. You have a film, you made a short, and you first. We are super accessible. We are not. It's easy. You can reach us. We have you have our email address everywhere, and just we don't want to see film which we are playing in 20 films because we know the film. We saw the film. For the shorts, we are not really the right person to see the short, but not me, because there's a team working on the short. It's another domain which is extraordinary, but it's too much work. So I'm not watching shorts. But I'm watching anything new from any country, any new filmmakers, any format. It can be video, it can be experimental. It's always, we are paid. Our job is to discover people like you, an unknown filmmaker. It's exactly what we are looking for. It's you in a way. So I really don't want this panel to be something really impressive. Well, filmmakers, they want to make a film. All these people from Sarajevo, Cannes, and also Greenland and Tribeca to be here and talk. So it's really interesting for me if it could be a little bit interactive. If you have any question, just say, ask a question, and we are here now and after if you want.
But I'm going to push you on this because I asked a direct question. Is getting into the film festival the hardest thing at this point in time because the film festival opens up all these doors? Or the fact of the matter is that anybody who makes a film can simply put their film out themselves. They can bypass entirely the film festival structure entirely and tell their own story. People think that it's just put it online and suddenly you're going to get, the world's going to be there.
No, the film festival are really important, but it's really important also to know the strategy, the calendar, the value of the film festival, to know where to go. And if you are not selected in Cannes, don't worry. It doesn't mean your film is bad. It's maybe you will be selected in Zurich. Why not? They're going to premiere your film in Zurich, and the life of the film going to start from Zurich. It's going to be all year long. So just to think you can be anywhere. The only thing which is really important, if we are, let's say, in some small festival, you need to get an award. Otherwise, it's difficult. You need to get something.
But you still see a direct line between making film, going to festival, getting distribution as the
Yes,
main
of
line.
course. Yeah, no doubt, of course.
Perfect. None of you think that there's any other shortcut to it. So then let's discuss FestivalScope, because FestivalScope truly, in the best way, brings their festivals to the world. It's not just bringing the films to the world, it's bringing the things that people, festival programmers, markets, etc. So if you could talk about what you've seen.
I maybe want to add a couple of things about what we just said. I think there are two crucial choices. The choice of the sales agent. It's not just having a sales agent, but having a good one is so crucial, and having it as soon as possible. So not when the film is ready, but ideally before. Of course, there are good sales agents, bad sales agents. And it's not just good and bad in terms of accounting, but also in terms of editorial line, in terms of taste. Because if you look at the lineup of a sales agent, you immediately know what kind of films they show. And I think you have to choose very carefully, because otherwise the buyers or the programmers will be influenced by the choice of your sales agent. So this is very...
So you guys know the sales agents. You know if somebody has chosen a not great sales agent that they probably don't think as highly of their film.
I mean, it's not so strict, and there might be a sales agent who will traditionally have films which are not artistically good, and that suddenly has a very powerful and beautiful film, but doesn't happen very often. So I think it's, of course, we are influenced looking, we're selling this film, so I absolutely want to watch it because I know they have good taste. According to me, it's of course very subjective. So I think it's important not just to choose the sales agent that offers you the best, let's say, deal, but also look at what kind of films they
Because it's a
choose.
partner, the sales agent.
Yes.
It's a partner in the process, in the making of the film. If it's not finished, he can give advice. He can tell you a little bit more about his own knowledge of how what is expected. Not saying that he wants to make you change everything, but what is expected is important at the moment. How can it be presented? So it's really a partner in the chain of the making, and all these steps are made to help you to build the best film possible.
I mean, it's fascinating because it sounds like your sales agent is your first program. Is your sales agent, choosing a sales agent is actually helping you in the first person outside of the project to do. Now, I do want to open up, but specifically if there's anybody exactly, I would love to hear from somebody who's making one.
Hi, I'm here in the lab. I'm from Canada. Go ahead. Right. So, but my question pertains to the sales agent piece, because a lot of times, in order to get a sales agent before the film's complete, you have to have a star. For filmmakers, first-time producers, getting a star is tough if you don't have the cash to pay them, and even then it's weird. So, if you don't have, because the sales agent has to see, oh, I can sell this because Brad Pitt's in it. If you're not working with Brad Pitt and you're an emerging filmmaker that's just making your first feature, what advice do you have for us to get access to a sales agent, especially if the movie is not complete?
Everybody could hear that at the back? We have an emerging voice that can speak to the back.
Maybe a good approach is co-production markets, because co-production markets is not just to find co-producers, but often it's a place where you can find a sales agent. So places like Cinemark in Rotterdam or the Berlinale co-production market, these are great places to find sales agents. And there are also programs like Torino Film Lab, where they can help you to find a sales agent from an early stage. And not necessarily, I mean, maybe the American market is a bit different, but in Europe there are lots of films that find sales agents without a star, maybe because of the shorts you made before, the won prizes around the world, or maybe because the script is great, and maybe they have a meeting with the sales agent as well. So it's, of course a star helps, but it's not always necessary.
I think like I did my first film. It's called NLA, which is a budget of like $250 and then after I've made shorts, like, so it's like the other way around, and so, but what it did was, how can I was always pushing it to go to the right festival, which for me was Imaginative, because with that, as of course I don't, Imaginative is hot because that is my community of indigenous people, so we can be there and showcase there. But then there is partners with TIFF and people there for my next project. So it's always like, what is the next project as well? For me, like, okay, I'm trying to get this out. It came out all around the world, and especially in New Zealand and Australia and in LA and Hollywood. And so when you go to these festivals, it is really good to find a sales agent afterwards. Like, try to get it to have a life yourself. It's hard work, but still, like, you just have to find these people, talk to them, what is the lab, where can I go, and then suddenly you have a track record for the next project. That is just
Yes, I think it's a really good question. But if you make a film with Brad Pitt, it's fine. But the film will be invited because of Brad Pitt, not because of the film. Or maybe yes, but this is, and sometimes, of course, we don't care as a programmer. But I mean, of course, platform, they really want some big distributors. They think to have a cast is good, but they also, we love a film with nothing. A film coming from nowhere, from country we don't even know. It's much better. Remember the success with Blair Witch Project, which is an example of the small unknown film, which was big. I mean, everybody told this story, maybe too much. But I think there is an advice I can give you, which is very important when you are making a first film and you want a little bit of visibility and your film is good, is to find an executive producer. Could be Céline Sciamma, Tonen, Jim Jarmusch, Martin Scorsese. He did it from, even for a young Croatian film, he did it. So I think to have an executive, someone who is protecting you a little bit, a kind of a reference, it's helped a lot, and we don't need to have Martin Scorsese on the red carpet, but we know this is a kind of a validity. So it could be Safdie Brothers, they can do some executive producers, and I think it's really good. You don't have to be very good friends. They can say, if they love the film, they can accept it, and I think it's a work very delicate, but very important to get visibility.
I want to go back, the whole notion, and I'll come to you absolutely. The whole notion of FestivalScope fascinates me, because on surface, it says, why do I need to go to festivals when FestivalScope will bring the festival to me? And everything that we're saying, everything that your question implies, and I understand it's self-serving, we're here at a festival. Why did we come to Reykjavik? We came to Reykjavik for this, for the human interaction, for the meetings, for the meeting up of individuals. So if you could just discuss from your perspective, because you see the metrics, about how FestivalScope actually increases the importance of in-person festivals.
Yes. I think, since the launch of FestivalScope Pro, because we are talking more about FestivalScope Pro now, it doesn't look like the professionals have stopped traveling. Quite the opposite.
Exactly.
So I think, but at the same time, there are so many films out there. And when you go to a festival, you can't watch all the films. So it's also a way for professionals to catch up on films they've missed the festivals. And also sometimes they only know about the awards at the end of the festival once they have left. So they want to say, oh, that film got an award, but I missed that film, so I want to catch up on that. And also, because there are so many festivals, you can't travel everywhere. Even people who travel a lot, you'll miss some films. And of course, there are some films that probably don't need FestivalScope Pro because they are in competition in Cannes, or they've been sold for distribution everywhere. But most of the films don't go to Cannes. Most of the films don't get sold, and so they lead through the festival circuit. They make most of revenues come from the festival circuit.
So
this is
festivals
essential.
as a mode of distribution.
Yes.
As for some films, that is the
Yes.
distribution model.
More and more.
Exactly.
More and more.
You had a question.
Thank you. My question is specifically for Mod. Regarding, I would like to know if L'Atelier would be continued, because it was a very good platform to kind of get your project
Yeah.
out.
Could you describe what it is?
Yes, L'Atelier, it's an initiative that the festival launched, I think it was more than 15 years ago, maybe a little bit more. And it was the selection which was made spontaneously by the team of different projects so that they can be presented in Cannes. And in Cannes were organized meetings with industry people. So of course it's a very strong platform. And nowadays it has stopped last year, and it won't take place, I think, this year, because the idea is to renew a little bit and to rethink the model of what I mentioned as the cinéma de demain. So I think it will come back in a way, maybe different, but it's being reshaped, yeah.
Are there any other questions from the audience? Yep.
I was just curious, going back to sales agents, I think you mentioned the importance of getting a really good one and not just anyone. I think that's probably good for any kind of rep. But what kind of things should we look out for as first-time filmmakers? I have no idea what would make a good sales agent. Maybe if I'm interviewing them, are there any questions I should ask, or just to gauge their seriousness or experience?
I won't answer everything, but first to try the moment you contact them is important also. The sales agents, they travel a lot, and of course they have big moments in their agenda, which are the big festivals. So at this time of the year, they're a little bit less available. The few weeks around Cannes, the few weeks around Berlin are very strong weeks. So it is something to have in mind if you want to contact them, maybe. or don't be too impatient for them to answer. But you have to, as Alessandro said, to try to see with the lineup who can fit to your aesthetic, your project, your philosophy. And I don't remember what was the question. How to contact them?
No, just like how to differentiate between different types. Like, how do you know if someone's actually good at that?
What's a good one? What's a good one and what's a shitty one?
Thank you.
It's what I said.
Maybe also ask some producers who have worked with them in the past, try to find a way to see if the accounts have been, the invoices have been paid or this kind of things. Also,
Yeah. But to be very direct, I think it's not a good idea to reach the sales agent, because it's going to be very frustrating. It's going to be no. They're receiving 40 emails, and so many filmmakers are, I want this film to be. They don't. It doesn't mean they don't like the film. They don't have time to watch it. So the idea is to make them calling you.
Yeah.
This is more intelligent and more fun in a way. Otherwise, you are waiting for a phone call. They will never call you back, because if the film is good, if the film is in a quality film festival, they're gonna reach you.
Can I ask a direct
So
question?
it's production and co-production market. This is
Yes, exactly.
why they are best for.
I'm going to ask
Yeah.
just very briefly, and I will 100%, I'm going to, it's for both of you, as the principal programmers, three of you. How often do you watch a film because a sales agent called you up and says, I really think you should see this for your festival? How often, in other words, rather than looking at a sea of films, how often is it that you choose a film for your festival because a sales agent is the one that has brought you to know that this film is out there?
No, because the sales agent, we are not only picking film with sales agents.
No, but are you occasionally picking films because a sales agent said you should?
Yes, of course, exactly, yeah.
It also depends very much on the festivals, because festivals like Tribeca or Cannes are looking for world premieres. So they have to rely on sales agents, sometimes producers, but mainly sales agents, to pitch their film.
Exactly.
But a festival like our program in Sarajevo, Kinescope, we are after first and second time filmmakers. I mean, it's not a strict rule, but as a matter of fact, is what we choose. And the films have been elsewhere, so we don't need the sales agent to come to us. I mean, we also like to listen to their pitches, but most cases we go to festivals or we watch the films from home, and then we choose them. Then we contact the sales agent. So,
Right. And how does it? So, thank you so much. Sorry to interrupt. How does it work on your festival? What is your relationship like in terms of that level of distribution for when you're working with first-time filmmakers? Or are you simply looking at all the stuff that's coming to you, people wanting to be playing your festival?
Yeah, like we have to, and we are looking for everyone. Like, you can be 40 in Greenland and have your first movie. Like,
It's really old.
but still, like, the industry, like, of people actually got funded a film. They have been making a lot of and been a part of the industry for maybe 15 years. Like myself, like, it is, and it's only my second movie. Like, I'm trying to make now, and I've done a lot of other things and co-produced, co-directed, Oscar nominated for a film this year. So, yeah, and that is like, so we are really, but we are still new. The Arctic cinema and the filmmakers there are still new, so trying to find a sales agent or something, it's just like new terms and how we do it. And we know the Europe model of doing this, like, okay, you go into the festival, you have this distribution, and then maybe you find a sales agent, and maybe this and maybe this. But the world is open for many things, and I think still in person, it's important to try to find festival that suits you and what you want in life. Like, where do you want to go with your film? Like, how can I come out to, like, yesterday there was a panel about how Twice Colonized really want to go out to the youth, but the youth are not coming in to see the film, but they are taking it all over to the youth, so it actually can have a life. And when I choose to have my films out in and try to find a sales agent, the sales agent will come to you if you attend and you really want to, and you have a film that is passionate. So it is really hard work, as we always know, and I think as a festival, we we are friends with a lot of the filmmakers, of course, and it's really mouth to mouth, like, okay, see this film, oh, have you heard of this? And please, like, and we already, oh, they are in development, so hopefully they will finish and we can have that, even though we haven't seen it yet, because we know the potential of the film. And then, of course, there is all the others. We have a film freeway where it's a lot of film to watch. If you, one year we opened it up and it was 3,000, which is like, whoa, what did we do? Like, but now we figured it out. But again, I think the workshops, the labs, and all these, like we work with Mauiland, which is a really good friends of ours, and they have really interesting new stuff, because we have really new kind of films, because it is filmmakers that hasn't done it schooled or haven't tried to do, like, so it is really a unique place to try to.
We could spend an entire hour at the challenge of new voices, but I want to go to the audience. Go on.
So then what would you say is the smartest, earliest time to reach out to a sales agent? Because you're saying you can reach out to one before the film is even finished, it's just very much still in development. So I mean, like, typically how soon is soon enough to reach out to a sales agent?
It's a tricky, it's a good question, but it really depends on the film, and also it depends how confident you are with your film. Also, if you reach them early, you need to have either a very good script or maybe also a very good short film that you need. So it really depends on specific cases. So there is not like a single answer, I think.
Yes, I mean the script and all the film, the script markets are really important, and a lot of sales agents are just betting. They really want to just put some cash money on the script, and it's of course it's a security, but it's better to not wait too late. But to not have a sales agent is good also in a way when you are selected in a festival. I mean, I selected a film which playing here, which called A Night with Adela. It's in a competition. You arrive in Tribeca with nowhere from the world premiere, no sales agent, nothing. We didn't even know it was selected. It was submitted randomly. We didn't even know the film. So we pushed the film was selected, and the film won the best film in Tribeca. And after that, he found sales agent, so it's really good, and he came from nowhere.
Yeah, so I'm from Sweden, so I don't think I can speak for everybody. But like in Sweden, we have publicly founded like distributors, and I was just wondering, like, are those sort of like distributors like lower valued than like sales agents because they're publicly founded, or like what's your view on like publicly founded distributors, or do you prefer like private sort of sales agents?
Do you have examples of public funded distributors? Is it local distributors or
Yeah, because
international?
like my short film has been distributed by like the Swedish Film Institute. So I was just like wondering, is it a bad idea for me to just go with them, or should I get like a private sales agent?
It's a very good idea.
Yeah.
They are promoting their film. I mean, the Swedish Film Institute, the Danish Film Institute, the Flanders. I mean, in most of the country in Europe, they have the Greeks. They have their agency, and they are really promoting. We are meeting them all the time in Berlin, in Cannes. We are meeting them, and they have a catalog. For us, they don't have any preference. They are promoting all their film. And we are watching all their films. So I think it's like to be covered by some official governmental. I think it's great.
But it also depends on the country, I can say, because some are more active than others.
Yes.
Some are proactive and also are dealing directly with festivals, and some others are just promoting.
We cannot name countries,
Yeah.
but there is some countries that are not doing a good job,
Yeah.
and most of the countries, but I cannot name it, but there are some countries we know we have to find by ourselves, otherwise it's going to be too difficult. But most of the time it's a really good idea.
Yeah, right here.
Hi, I'm from Slovakia. I'm planning to make a film. I've got some background in production, but what I'm thinking is obviously the budget, and I can't imagine I'm going to have a lot of money for my film. So I'm thinking, from your experience, how much of the budget you think I should put aside just for this project, getting a sales agent? Or like how do I even start fundraising money if I don't know how much all these are going to cost?
Sure.
No, I'm going to be a producer.
You're going to be a
Yeah.
producer? Me, I can't really answer, but it's impossible to answer, I would say, because every project is so specific. So,
I think you don't have a lot of expenses. The film is done, the film is invited, you will be invited with the film. In terms of marketing, you will not have to do the marketing yourself. You will find someone who will do it for you in collaboration. So I think, of course, you have a sum of expenses, but it's nothing to compare to the production of a film. I think I'm not sure you have to keep money aside for what's happened when the film after the festival. You don't have to do that, because most of the time you find a sales agent or a co-producer, and it's, I mean, of course you have to pay, but not a...
Maybe it also depends on your strategy. So, for example, we have been saying that the most important is to find a good sales agent, but in certain cases, maybe you don't need a sales agent. I mean, if you are, for example, a documentary, and you know your market, you know your audience, and you want to distribute it yourself, then it's also maybe a very interesting option. I mean, I remember in the past some documentaries being very successful, and the producer being very much involved in distribution. So in that case, you have to set aside a budget for promotion. That's very important. But if you have a sales agent, then usually it's their responsibility to promote the film.
We have a few more minutes, but I do want, and I will get to the. Yeah. But I do want to ask specifically. So we talked very much about the festivals being sort of the tier and that distribution model. But I want to say, in 2023, what are we looking at for distribution outside the festival environment? Is the goal for Netflix to come buy your film for tens of millions of dollars, which is what has happened for a few films out of TIFF? Or is the goal simply to get your film seen and then to get people in a festival environment, and then for that to be used to make the next film? What do you see in 2023 as the end goal for the majority of films that are in the festival circuit to break out of the festival circuit? Start with Tribeca. I think it was
I think like it's really a hard question, because it is really, I think it's always like, if you have a really good film, it's going to have a life, and sometimes when you see things at the festival and we wanted to have Netflix up, we want to have these people up, but if you're not ready and really have that project that can do it, then why have them at this point? Again, a strategy for now, what we're doing is, how can we use them in workshops like Netflix and use them in the festival perspective? We have seen that with our Sami friends and Imaginative and Nunavut film development, and we are really like a collaborative team. And we are even talking, I'm here now because RIFF, and really want to do some kind of Arctic environment of how can we do this collaboration as well? And Tromsø, as we talked about yesterday, is there something there as well in the North Atlantic? So I think it is a goal to have these people there and try to get films out, but we really want to be a festival where you actually can be seen, like as a first-time filmmaker, and we can give you the network to potential go to much bigger festival than this is, but we are an attractive festival when you actually say, okay, we have been here, that's interesting. So it's really, oh, okay, I want to hear more about this project because it was at a festival. I don't know even where Greenland is. So already there's
Is the end game to end up on Canal Plus? Is the end game to end up on Netflix? Or the end game to end up Disney buying the film?
Yeah, but it is. But again, like when you are doing a first-time thing and doing your distribution yourself, it could be very good just to go out and find the names of people. I did a TV deal with APTN, and then the CBC, and then in Australia something VOD, and a network there, and sold it myself. And then it's just, then they have a live there, and then someone, FNX, talks, which is a US, talks with them, and then I can make this small deal, maybe $20,000 for this, and 3 years of this, and here, and then the Sapmi have a view, like, so, but I give that to...
The ball starts rolling at the festivals, but keeps rolling as you continue to work.
And the platform you have a lot. Now you don't have, we talk a lot about the bigger one, but you have a lot, and some which can be very precise.
Yes,
and,
Mubi or
and
Hulu,
very accurate
which is Disney,
to
but
some projects. They offer a very good window also.
Exactly, but most of the film you're going to do are first time, it's first film, and I can tell you Netflix is not interested by your work, so it's better to say that. Distribution, theoretical distribution doesn't exist anymore, except in France, or maybe some films, of course, it still exists, but it's very difficult, and you will never have as much audience than festivals. So the life is go to festival, to another festivals, to think about another film, to meet someone, maybe to get married, maybe to have a life. We should double our life, the life of the festival, and it's going to be very creative and exciting. And you're going to meet people in Japan, in Singapore, in Bulgaria. They're going to love your film, and they're going to find you new ideas, and they will give you the energy. The problem now is how to get the energy to make film now, because cinema is doing not very. It's the reason why we are doing this panel to help you to be creative and to do things, because I think there is a way to do it. But the festival, I think, is really the best, and it's doing well. The festival are full, and it's doing well all over the world. So you make a film, you will be selected somewhere, and you're going to start from that.
Perfect, thank you. We had one last question. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, maybe you answered the question, but I come from a very tiny film industry in a small country, Montenegro, and we don't have really sales agents or distributors. So I wanted to ask, in your opinion, is it a disadvantage because, like, our production companies usually submit films for selection for festivals, and that's kind of the only way? Would you say that that is a disadvantage, or should we just look for in the region or anywhere in Europe for specific distributors?
I wouldn't say it's a disadvantage because the system is, even if there are, France it's a very unique country with so many sales agents, but there are a lot of countries with not that many, and then still again working with the local, regional, or neighboring countries platform and lab. It offers you, they invite international sales agents, and it offers you the access.
Do you have any other final words of wisdom? I'm just wondering if you can have encouragement that we have to.
Yeah, but it's just like we don't have that either. We don't have sales. We don't even have a film institute yet. We don't have a commissioner. Me and our partners do everything ourselves and try to build up an industry. And I'm going to Montenegro this November because for this orbit. So, but it's just really being here and trying to, or have your government sign a letter. We do that. Like, we know this culture minister, can you please help us? Because then I can use that. That's an official letter for something that they really, like, there is support from your country. But again, the network of, we have a different, how can you say it? The distribution is always hard, no matter what. Like, and that's why I think I always, in the last 7 or 8 years, have went to festivals, other festivals, to build the network. So when you are already here, it's already a good sign.
And again, not to reiterate, but it sounds like the number one lesson out of here is to recognize that obviously the making of the film is not the beginning. It's the ending of the beginning, shall we say. But that it all needs to be thought of as a whole. And I think that it's fair to say, again, to put words in your mouth, that a fundamental thing, particularly in 2023, is the in-person festival is beyond the film itself, but is the networking, is the introduction of different people and different things. So on that front, you have some incredible individuals here at this incredible festival. Please, any of you, if I may speak on your behalf, if you see them walking in the streets, just have discussions. That's what this is about. I travel to festivals all over the world, and again, the movies are important, but this is the fundamental core of what we're doing. And thanks to the incredible contributions of those on stage, I just want to give them a warm round of applause. As the person who's looking for it, I can't wait to see your films. It's as simple as that. Good luck with everything. All the best. Thanks.
But I'm also like an